Hello ACES, hello everyone. Hello teachers who are doing their LDM2 course for teacher. Now, we are down to the module 5 or the portfolio reflection. Actually, module 5 will be submitted September to December because you will be including it in your e-portfolio, wherein you need to incorporate different evidences in order to prove that you did your best, that you did your tasks in the new normal setup. Now, for this time, particularly this video of module 5, we will be only dealing with the activities and the reflections encapsulated in the module 5. Once again, I would like to say this video is intended for you to be given references in the crafting of your own study notebook. Now let's start. For our module 5, lesson 1, the teaching portfolio and its contents. On the activity 2, study the reading on portfolio from the Glossary of Education Reform. Based on your reading, reflect on the following questions and jot down your answers. Now, I am suggesting teachers that you need to understand and particularly read the content of reading on portfolios from the Glossary of Education Reform, because on this particular attachment given to us by the Department of Education, you can actually generate your responses upon reading this. You will be enlightened on the purpose of the e-portfolio. Now, on the first question, you'll be given this: how will your portfolio help you in tracking the progress of your teaching practice in your school's LDM? Now, if your school's LDM would be modular distance learning, actually that's the widely used, because particularly in public school, because on the survey conducted by the schools, most of the students cannot afford to have a laptop or a cellular phone with Android system or even the internet connection. That is very costly for them. Now, on this part, this would be my response on what would be the use of portfolio, or how the portfolio can track your progress in your teaching practice. This would be my answer. You can pause the video if you want to read it well. Okay, I focus here on the purpose of the portfolio and how it can assess us, or how can it track, or we can track ourselves in the teaching practices that we have. Now, for the question number 2, what evidence from the previous modules will help capture the progress of your teaching practice? Now, eventually, all the subparts of the module in the LDM2 are actually beneficial and vital in on how we can cope in the new normal setup in this particular school year. Now, the technique that I use is that after my introduction, a short introduction only, I enlisted module 2, 3A, 3B, 4, and 5 on what necessary components or elements did I learn from those particular modules that can help me on how to capture the progress of my teaching practice. What are my particular achievement on those particular modules, subparts of the modules that I learned that then I just need to apply in the new normal setup. Now, for module 2, I list down this one. For module 3A, I also have 3B, module 4, and module 5, of course. Now, I focus on the essential learnings per module so that I can identify them, that by these essential components I can capture the progress of my teaching practice. I can apply this one, therefore I can assess myself, or my LAC leader can assess me, or my master teacher can assess me upon the submission of the e-portfolio on December 2020. Now, for question number 3, why is writing down your reflections an integral part of your portfolio? Now, my focus here would be, upon that you visited the expected outputs in the LDM2, you are not actually required to submit the reflection or the study notebook, but there are purposes why do the NEAP or why do the LDM2 incorporated this reflection, and I also cited that here in my response. Now, for the last part, familiarize in activity 3 yourself with the list of suggested evidence form. Is the list of evidence enough to capture the progress of your teaching practice? What other evidence can you think of that is relevant to the LDM adopted by your school? Write down your answers and other insights. Now, if I may suggest, you should first browse this attachment, the list of suggested evidence in the learning delivery modality. You analyze the activities, the timeline, and the output or the outputs needed. Okay, now after analyzing this one or after browsing this one, you can now answer your activity 3. Now, my response here, first one is that I have a positive feedback on the list of suggested evidence form as it was given to us by the NEAP and the Department of Education. And I also added here, if I will be given the chance to include or to have inclusion, I answered preparation of 1 supplementary worksheet per month because it's not included on the suggested output or suggested evidences. Now, I also incorporated here my reason why, and of course I ended up this one with this, that collective efforts and shared responsibilities will be the key in the new normal setup in the school year 2020-2021. Now, that will be all the content of my portfolio reflection in module 5, sample answers. Now, on our next video, upon doing the content of the e-portfolio, I will be also giving you some hints on how to accomplish, where you can get, or how you can craft your template in order for you to be aligned on the need of the e-portfolio in the new normal education. That will be all. Happy learning, everyone. Keep safe, teachers. So long.